This tweet number 4. William and Harry, this is important for better insights about William. William and Harry had different ways of working when they first started their joint charity. William preferred doing things behind the scenes and wanted long-term solutions. Harry wanted things that resulted in instantaneous action. Now I'm going to ask you a question. If we think about how long did they take to decide to propose to their girlfriends, to say that, well, I'm going to let's make this formal. You know Waity Katie, right? You know Waity Katie, why they call Catherine that way. Years expecting that. William projected that into that decision. He made sure that Catherine was well aware of what she was getting into. And not only being well aware and talking to her, but experiencing what it's all was about. So he was very mindful of that, because he also understood that Catherine was not born into that life. She was going to marry into that life, and he knew that it was not going to be an easy ride for anybody. For anybody that marries into the royal family, it's not going to be easy. You need to have the right stuff too. And I think the time that William took into that was critical to be sure. Not only that, of course, Catherine was the right woman for him, but also that she was well aware that what kind of life she was going to expect. And this is part of respect. It's not only, well, you're going to marry me and I'm going to be king and etc. And let's, you know that, that the other despair, Harry wanted things that resulted in instantaneous action. Why do you think William told him, Harry, please, Harry, why don't you take things a bit slower? And Harry like, no, I want things right now. I want to get married now. I want everything in years. You're crazy. You're like with decades with Catherine. This isn't possible. I don't want that. I'm going to be clear about this. People change. People in their life can change. Okay, can change their behavior, can evolve their behavior. There are people can be William at some point of their lives, and can be more like Harry at other points of their lives. I can say that at some point of my life I was more like William, but at more recently in my life I decided that sometimes you need instantaneous action. I think Harry's way of doing things has a lot of perks, because you fail quickly. And failing quickly, no, don't laugh. This is the real deal. Failing quickly is something that you have to. It's a skill. You have to fail quickly, because sometimes you overthink and don't act because you're waiting, I don't know, for the perfect moment. You are waiting for the perfect circumstances. You think you're not ready. You have imposter syndrome. You think that someone is going to say, you don't know what you're doing. And guess what? Nobody really knows what we're doing, because nobody can foresee the future. And we are in that conundrum. And we're trying to make sense of things. And we're never going to be ready. So it's nice planning things. It's nice taking time for things to mature, like in this case, Catherine and William's relationship. That makes sense. But in other cases, for example, when you're in a project, speed, I always said that speed is everything. Now, you may argue with me, saying, well, in this case, we have this focus, or that framing is between William and Harry. And I can understand that you might be a fan of William and prefer William's approach to things. And since you don't like Harry that much, or you used to like Harry, but you don't like him that much now, then you don't like that approach. That is a bias that is natural to you. Someone that you don't like is doing something. That's why I tell you so many times that you have to separate the thing, the action, from the person. Maybe you don't like the person, maybe the action could work for you at some point in your life. And by the way, for example, I realized at some point that I had to do videos every day, even if the quality was going to suffer. Okay, but it was important to fail quicker. What can I do to make videos quicker? More videos. Why more videos? Because that way I could test. I could have more tests to see what did you like about my videos and which format could I land that could be well received by you. And this, being fluent in English is also a product of having this furious action and putting out more videos. That is Harry's approach. Maybe William would have an approach that let's put out one video a week that is very well polished, that is very well worked. That some YouTubers have that approach, and that approach works wonders too. Now, in this case, I want to point out that both William and Harry, both approaches are sound, have results. So the best thing that you can do is to be able to use both depending on the situation. Okay, and there's one quote. I don't know if this who said this. It was not me. I did not invent this quote, but someone said that you have to be furious with actions and patient with results. And the worst thing that anybody can do is not act, because things are not going to happen. Things are not going to happen unless we act. Okay, it's okay to plan. You may say, well, Harry made a mistake, marrying Meghan. Well, that is our opinion. Maybe it's our opinion. Maybe it's not Harry's opinion. Maybe Harry has thought about that. Maybe Harry has had doubts at some point. His body language tells a lot about that. But instantaneous action is something that we should not discard just because Harry has done it. I tell by personal experience, I've had both approaches in my life, different moments of my life. At this moment, I can say that the best approach is to have both at the same time. I think this is how I tell you sometimes I don't make specific videos that how tools for life that will be sound. What happens is that I make these videos and maybe you see it all too generic and it doesn't land. We don't have a real example for that, but this is a great example for this kind of experiences. I will never call them lessons. I will never call them like I'm teaching you something. I'm just sharing you what has worked for me. And I'm sharing with you what could be a dangerous bias of saying William is the one doing things right and Harry is the one doing things wrong. And there's another thing that I think is important to say now, to share with you. And that is this dilemma that you sometimes can make a good decision, you make a sound decision, you make the right choice, the right decision, but it was not the right time, and things go wrong. You lose, you fail miserably, and the worst thing that can happen is that you think that your decision was bad, that you have doubts about yourself. People say you mess up everything. It's your fault. You made a bad decision, and you need to stop and think and realize, no, I made the decision was the right one. Somehow might be the timing might not be the right one. Okay, this is critical in our lives, and I'm telling you, I've gone through this, and yes, I told to myself I made the wrong choice, I made the wrong decision, and it was fatal. It was brutal learning that lesson. On the other hand, it's equally dangerous to make a wrong decision, like actually mess things up, like you don't know what you're doing, and you act in a hurried way, make a wrong decision, a terrible decision, and maybe the timing is so good, it's so on point, maybe the stars aligned and everything goes right at the end. What happened? well, even worse, an even worse situation, because you might think, hey, you see that? It was me who made this decision and everything went right at the end. How about that? I think that is even worse, because you will get a fake sense of confidence about something that you didn't do. You triumphed, but because of the timing, not of your decision. And this is excruciatingly or ultimately difficult to spot in ourselves, because you need this internal insight and be honest with yourself. If your decisions are sound, are the best decisions that you can make, or are the wrong decisions, or whatever. I have one clue before we move on. I have one clue. You might ask, Jesus, how can I know that I'm making the right decision? It's a very easy way. I have a video on my channel. You visit my channel, The Better Language Guy, that is called Values and Principles. And when you make decisions, you watch the video and make the exercise that accompanies that video to find out about your own values. Make that exercise and you realize your own set of values that is personal for you, that is different from anyone else, and you know that you have made the right decision when that decision is aligned with your values and not the values of anyone else. Not the values of your parents, not the values of your children, not the values of your spouse, of your friends, or your neighbors. No, it's your values. If your decision is aligned with your values, then it's a good decision. I have had clients have come to me. I have this, I can't reveal much about that, but they have made the decisions that if I ask 100 people on the street, 95 of them are gonna tell me that was a wrong call. That was not the right call. That was awful what they did. And maybe 4 of them are gonna tell me, well, what was there anything that I should know that why they made that decision that is so wrong? And maybe 1 could say, maybe that was the right decision for them, and that 1 person will be right. Maybe that was the decision that was aligned with their values. Maybe they're not my own values. If you want to know about values, go to that video that is on my channel, The Better Language Guy. You can spot that. Just scroll. You have these playlists. Let's level up together. And there's one video that's called Values and Principles. Just watch that video and do the exercise, and that will facilitate your life immensely, because we are not trained. We are not shown. This is something that we should learn at school. What are our values? It's different than principles. For example, honesty. Honesty is a principle. We should always be honest. Okay? We know that sometimes a lie can do a lot of good, can save a lot of people, can save things. That could be, of course, that could happen. That could be more of a principle. Respect, for example. Respect is a principle, not a value. Respect is something that is non-negotiable. Respect is something that 100% of humanity should have for others and for ourselves. But values is much more. It's much vastly complex. You can have people that value relationships, people that value friendships, people that value spirituality, people that value money, people that value being academic, people that value entertainment, people that value, well, you have a mix of them. We have a mix of them, but we have to know which kind of values are the non-negotiable. I know that I'm sounding a bit preachy in this, but it's something that I'm truly passionate about, because I wish someone had told me this barely 5 years ago. Just 5 years ago. Don't think that I'm this guru that has known this since he was 16 years old. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I still can say I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm still learning. So I wish someone told me this 5 years ago. Would have saved me so much time, tears, pain, energy, money. You have no idea. And it's as simple as that. And I said, I need to devise a system or a path that is as simple as possible for people to know when they somehow are not screwing things with their life. And the first reason is that we do not know ourselves. We don't know what we want in life. It's that bad. We don't know what we want in life until we accept our own values. And it's rather simple. It's not easy because we have all this social pressure that maybe if you have the value of, well, I like money, I like to have a lot of money. Okay, money is very important for me, and that those values can evolve over time. Also, maybe when you were younger, when you were a teenager, like in my case, I valued more my artistic creativity. I was much more valuable. It was one of my values. It's still one of my values. I love seeing and watching beautiful things. I love creating beautiful things. But maybe a long time I said, hey, my values have changed. My values towards family have changed. My values towards spirituality have changed. My values towards money have changed. I can say, for example, that I have become more spiritual, and at the same time have become more aware of the value of money, of how important is money in our lives. How can you marry those things? I don't know. Those are two of my many values that are non-negotiable at this moment. I'm spiritual and I love financial gain too. What can I tell you? It's something that it's nothing to be ashamed about when you find out what is your personal mix, your unique mix of values. And the best part, you don't have to share them with anyone that you don't want. If you don't want to share them with your spouse, maybe you realize that you're in a toxic relationship, then you don't have to. If you don't feel comfortable at the moment of sharing them with your children, then don't do it. If you don't feel comfortable sharing them with your parents, don't do that. You're not forced, you're not obliged to do that. All right? But that is important. That is so many things that I saw this. William acts in a way. Harry acts in a way. I have to make sure that my beloved audience, my body language buddies, that I love you so much, I understand that you can have some bias on, oh, Harry, rushing everything. You can't do that. Sometimes we have to rush things. Sometimes we have to fail quickly. Sometimes that is needed. And sometimes we have to act like William. How do we know? Now you know. Now you know. I'm sure that I will be repeating this along the way. I know that some of you are always aware of my rants, but this is something that is priceless. For me, has been priceless. And it's one of my greatest gifts to you. All you have to do is go to that video, watch that video, and do the exercise that I proposed in that video. It's that simple. Go for it. Your life will be better. I promise. And you just have to try. You don't have anything to lose and infinite to gain.